Hi everybody! So we're continuing with our live a day for the month of May. And tonight we're going to be continuing our home economics tour in the kitchen, and we're going to be talking a little bit about pots and pans. So today I want to share with you another one of my vintage cookbooks. This is Mami Marisa's Easy Home Style Mexican Recipes. Now this is actually a Tex-Mex cookbook, and you can tell by the typeset that this was not done on a PC or a word processor. So that means that this book was probably written in the late 70s, maybe early 80s at the youngest, but I would say it's probably a late 70s book. And I was so excited when I got this cookbook because it has a recipe in it that I didn't know existed prior to me moving to Texas. And that is for something called pollo calabacita. And I got it at one of our local little Mexican restaurants. And I was like, what is this amazing, delicious thing that I'm eating? And so here's the recipe. It says pollo and calabaza, or chicken zucchini. 2 pounds of cut up chicken, 1 pound of zucchini, 1 cup of stewed tomatoes, a 1/4 teaspoon cumin, 1/4 teaspoon garlic minced, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon pepper, 1/4 chopped onions, and 2 tablespoons shortening. So it's basically in a skillet, brown chicken in shortening, pour off the excess shortening, wash and cut the zucchini and cut into 1/2-inch slices, chop the stewed tomatoes, combine chicken, zucchini, tomatoes, onions, season with salt, pepper, garlic, and cumin, cook covered over low heat about 40 minutes or until chicken is tender. Now, one of the things that I've discovered about the wonderful world of post-bariatric life is that some textures you just have a really, really tough time with. And boiled, stewed meats and veggies are like my favorite thing. I love boiled carrots. I love soft cooked shredded chicken. And this recipe, you throw all that stuff in the Instapot and oh my God, like what, 30 minutes later, it's all string beef and yum. Yeah. So, usually what I do is I don't like the zucchini to get too soft. So what I'll do is I'll cook the chicken till it's almost strong, and then I'll throw in the zucchini, and then that way the zucchini isn't overcooked, even though I kind of like it a little on the mushy side. But anyways, so that is the Mama Mauricia's recipe that I got down on the south side here in San Antonio. And she's got some really, really good recipes in here. So, she's got her chicken tacos and pollo and mole. But what's interesting is her pollo and mole is she doesn't give you a mole recipe. Now, mole recipes, it's been my discovery, are biblical. They can be short and sweet like this one, which is just open a package of Donna Maria's mole mix, or they're like little vignettes, little novels of ingredients of everything in the kitchen sink. Because, we can talk about moles another day. But she's got like a little glossary in the back, of different things. But anyways, so that's it for our little vintage cookbook for the day is Mama Mauricia's, where I've gotten the absolutely amazing chicken calabaza recipe, which brings us to tonight's subject, which is pots and pans. Now, my mom used to say, if it's heavy, you can cook with it. If it's light, don't cook with it. And so I personally am a very big fan of stainless steel, Revereware, and Farberware. So this is one of my go-to pots. Now, this is the perfect pot for making the recipe I just told you about. The reason for it's a 5-quart. This is, I believe, Farberware. Yeah, Farber ware. Okay. Now, of course, you can get really bougie with your pots and pans, and you can buy Coustelet, and you can buy Pampered Chef or whatever you want. But honestly, I will tell you this. When it comes to pots and pans, do not go on the cheap. always shoot for good. If it's sold at Costco or Sam's Club, you have a pretty good chance of it being pretty decent. If you buy it at the 99-cent store, you're going to have some drama. Okay? So I want to tell you the difference between a good pan and a not so good pan. So there's your 5-quart. This is excellent for stewed meats, slow and go. My mom used to measure her potato salad based on the size of her pot. So she would make this size pot for a crowd. She would make this size pot for a family. Okay, so just understand that, this is good for boiling pasta. This is good for steaming artichokes. This is a really good utilitarian size. So if you're going to have a pot, this is the size to go for. That's at least one of the sizes to go for. I highly recommend a minimum of 4 pots and pans. A fry pan, a stir pan, a Dutch oven, a cast iron if you got it, and an everything pan. So, 4 or 5 pans. So the next thing I want to talk about, and since we're talking about the big pots, we'll go from the big pots to the little pots. This is what you would use for fried chicken. This thing weighs a friggin' ton. It is cast iron, and, as you can see, it's cast iron coated with enamel. So it is really, really, really super heavy. And I got it from H-E-B. But this is a good one for if you're doing anything really, really heavy duty. So like if you're frying chicken, this is a good pot for you. If you're going to be doing, heavy stews or stuff that needs to braise all day, or if this is one of those recipes where you have to start it on the stovetop and finish it in the oven, then this is the pot for you. This guy weighs a ton. Weighs a ton. I'm like, yeah, right, weighs a ton. So, and whenever you buy a pot, make sure it has a good fitting lid, because there's so many things that require a lid. It's really a good idea. Get a lid. Good lid. That worked me out. Okay, so the next pot I'm going to go into is an everything pan. And they come in all kinds of different styles, but for the most part, it's what I used to know as a paella pan. So what it is it's a pan. It's good for stir frying. It's good for, like, I use this one primarily for loaded ramen. So like, I'll fill this with a little bit of water. I'll fill it with some hot dogs, some frozen vegetables. I'll do some eggs in there, kind of like Chinese egg drop soup. And then as that gets all yummy, then I will up the broth a little bit, add a little red chili, like, what we call cock sauce, which is it's the red Korean chili sauce with the rooster on it. Sriracha. Yeah, sriracha. And then, I'll serve that. I'll put the ramen in and let the ramen cook, and then boom, that's all up. So an everything pan is a good sized pan. You can tell I use my stuff. And it's, as you can see, it's got about, what? So there's my hand. I would say that's, 3 inches? 3 inches deep. And then it's got a big surface area that you can do for stir frying and stuff like that. This is somewhere between cheap and good, because if it was good, I wouldn't have a hot spot. But as you can see from the back, I have a hot spot. So there's a issue with the milling of this particular aluminum pan. It's got the nonstick coating, so I could have gone a little bit better on this one. But so this is kind of one of the things that I'm warning you about. So when you buy your pots and pans, go for good, not for cheap. So, moving on, the next pan we're going to talk about is your workhorse. This one is, this is a, I thought this one was a Riverware, but it's not. This one is a 2-quart. Now, a 2-quart is a perfect pot for a smaller family, like, 2-3 people that you're cooking for. You can do mac and cheese in this one. You can do pasta in this one. You can boil vegetables in this one. You can make stewed tomatoes in this one. You can make apples, stewed apples. There's all kinds of things that you can make in this particular size of a pot. This particular one is tired and it's about done. And you can tell because the Teflon coating inside is just about dead. I do use this one for candy making because anybody who knows me knows about the cookie. And so the butter and sugar that's used to make the cookie is what I use in this one, but I don't use this pot anymore. So this one's kind of tired. I just kind of wanted to show you the size. This is the size. So this is what we're talking about, 4 inches. And so this is, like I said, this is, okay, sorry, I dropped you. This is a 2-quart. And again, you want a good fitting lid. And this one's good for rice. This one's really, really good for, cooking, you know, like poached eggs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this size. So this is a good size to have. So like I said, you need a good big pot, you need a good everything pan, you need a good sauce pot. So, and that's what that size is actually known as a saucepan. So last but not least, we're going to talk about fry pans. Now, depending on the size of your family and what you like to eat, there's a million sizes of fry pans. This is my fry pan that I use for, you know, like a stir fry, or if I'm frying up you know, a couple of pieces of meat, or if I want, you know, something quick, you know, this is the size that I use. This is the chorizo on Sunday size, you know. So, you know, you can saute some potatoes, you can saute some chorizo, you can throw some eggs in there, and boom, you got some good stuff. So this is a good size. It might be too big for your family, but if you have a big family, then this is the size you need. Now, these particular fry pans, they come in all kinds of sizes. This is about my workhorse size, and this one is a Cuisinart skillet, 10-inch. And this is kind of my workhorse. I kind of use this for everything. So if I'm making omelets, if I'm heating up tortillas, if I'm hitting my husband in the head, I'm kidding, I'd never hit him in the head. This is kind of your go-to. I think Josh likes to use this one to fry up Spam. You know, there's all kinds of things that you can do with this size, but this is kind of your utilitarian. So if you're gonna, you know, if it's just you, then this is the size you want. You need like a 9-10 inch. Yeah, all girls like a 9 or 10 inch. Yeah, okay, you know, I'm kidding. All right, so. Okay, yes, okay, so on YouTube I have to mark this one, not suitable for children. This one I like because this is a single egg pan. And I know it seems silly that you would have a single egg pan, but if you were making egg McMuffins, or if you were doing toad in a hole, or if you were doing something bougie, then, you know, it's totally fun to have a little teeny tiny pan to do a little tiny thing. So I'm just going to say a couple of hellos because we got some people watching. Hi, Miss Bonnie. Hi, Mr. Joe. Hi, Christina. Hi, Miss Rosie. I hope Bill is doing well, so shout out to him. So the last 2 pans that I want to show you are kind of adventures. So let me go get them. Ugh, me and my heavy pans. Okay, so the first one I want to show you is why you don't buy a cheap pan. Okay, I didn't personally buy this pan. This pan migrated into my house somehow, and I just haven't had the heart to throw it out because I think my dad, you know, I don't know where it came from. I really don't, but it's awful. And this is, you know, it's heavy aluminum, so it really should have been an effective pot, but unfortunately, it's got a hot spot. You can see that? It's got a hot spot. It doesn't evenly heat. It's got a hot spot. So this particular pan, boiled eggs, is about all I do with it. Boil veggies and boil pans. You know, boil eggs, boil veggies. Because I can't do a sauce because the sauce will break. I can't do a sauce because the sauce will burn. I can't do candy because the candy will burn. So, because I can't regulate the temperature because of this hot spot. So, if you buy your pots and pans at the thrift store, look for that hot spot. If there's a hot spot on the pan, you don't want it because it's not evenly distributing the heat. And I can tell you that this is somebody's old pan. First of all, it's not marked on the bottom, so I don't even know who the manufacturer is. But look at this lid. Is that the most 70s lid you've ever seen in your whole life? So this poor little pot has been through something. I don't know what, but it hasn't been through anything in my house because as far as I'm concerned, the only thing it's good for, boiling eggs or spuds. That's it. So, last but not least, I'm going to show you my legacy child, my most precious cast iron skillet. Now, this was my mom's. So, I'm 58 years old. Okay? Let that sink in. All right? And my mom had this one when I was born. When my mom got this pan, I don't know. I believe at one point she said it was her mom's. So if her mom was born in the late 1800s, I don't know how old this puppy is. I'm saying she's at least 100. I don't know. But this particular baby, you can see all the petite on it. Can you see all this years and years and years and stuff on it? So this particular baby, I use for anything fried. This is my fry pan. So if I'm frying chicken, if I'm frying French fries, if I'm frying sweet potatoes, if I'm doing some onions, I don't know. If it's requiring frying, then I use this puppy. If it's a dish that requires stovetop to oven, like a pineapple upside down cake, this puppy I use. So anyways, but this is my baby. This is my baby, or this was my mom's baby, and now it's my baby. I don't know. But that is your quick and dirty tour of pots and pans. So if you're setting up your house, you really need to have good pots and pans and a nice variety. One last thing that you might want, if I have it handy, I don't have it handy, is what's known as a comal, which is just a flat cook surface, and that's good for tortillas and stuff like that. It depends on what you cook in your cuisine or whatever you make in your home, but always go for good to better when you buy. Weight is important. If it feels light in your hand, it's going to have a hot spot. It's going to burn, and you're going to burn your food, and you're going to be miserable, and you're going to be all, why am I cooking? Oh my God, everything I cook, I burn. Yeah, it's your pot. It's not you, it's your pot, okay? Because especially when you're dealing with an electric cooktop, because you can't really manage the heat. The way that it heats, it gets hot, then it stops. Then it gets hot, and then it stops. That's how these things heat. When you're dealing with a gas stove, you have continuous flame going. So that's the big difference between an electric and a gas stove. So just, keep that in mind when you're picking out your pots and pans. But again, like I said, you need a workhorse. You need a big pot for boiling big things. You need a saucepan for making like spaghetti sauce, or making white sauce that you put beef in, and some, hard-boiled eggs, and you make chipped beef on toast on Easter Sunday, or maybe somebody will make it for you on Mother's Day. Not going to happen. But anyways, so, and if you ever see one of these puppies in a thrift store and it's got patina like this, you buy that. You buy that. You buy that. Because brand new, a large cast iron skillet is going to run you 30, 40, 50 bucks. So if you see one in a thrift store, you grab it. Because these puppies are invaluable. A good, solid cast iron skillet. Avoid cheap. It may look cute. It's going to piss you off because it's going to mess up your cooking. And when it comes to a fry pan, what are you going to use? I mean, when it comes to, like a skillet, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do? Are you going to cook up a couple of hamburgers? Are you going to make a big old stir fry? Are you going to make paella? What are you going to do? And all your pans, unfortunately, this puppy does not have a lid. But if it's a fry pan, or if it's a saucepan, or if it's one of your boiling pans, really make sure that you have a lid, because that will really, really help you out. So I hope that this was informative, and I hope you liked my little presentation tonight. So my live in May for the month of May, day 3 in the can, and Mama Mauricias. So I guess that's how you say it. So we'll read one more recipe. Guacamole, avocado dip, 2 medium avocados, 1 small tomato chopped, 2 tablespoons minced onion or half small onion chopped, 1 teaspoon lime or lemon juice, half a teaspoon garlic powder, half a teaspoon salt. Peel the avocados, mash with a fork in a medium bowl. Stir in tomato, onion, lime or lemon juice, garlic powder, and salt. Serve it once. Makes 6 servings. So there you go. And as you can see that this one is definitely done on a typewriter and then published. How cool is that? There's no date, so I can't even tell you. But my guess is, yeah, late 70s. Late 70s for sure. So that's it for tonight. I hope to see you tomorrow night. And let me see what I have on the agenda. Hold on. So remember what I said yesterday? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So tomorrow night is the 4th. And I have down, I'm going to teach you an appetizer. So I'm going to teach you the appetizer that I learned when I was in home economics in junior high school. So something to look forward to. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye, all.